How's it going, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great day. This is part 2 of the crypto mining rig inside a grow tent. As you guys can see over here, this is the grow tent setup. So today I'm going to be walking you through what I did in terms of the ducting, venting, exhaust intake of cold and hot air. Also how I set up the rig inside, wire management and how I mounted the GPUs and all of that. What I like and what I don't like about the current setup and what I'm going to be changing into the future. So I'm not gonna spend too much time doing introductions. I'm gonna switch to the rig setup and I'm gonna walk you through it. So let's go. All right, so here is the grow tent setup. I'm kind of limited on space, so I kind of have to go up and down with this to show you the entire tent. It is, in terms of width, it is 48 inches, and then the height is, this one is 56 inches, I believe, or 57 inches. I'll link to the actual tent in the bio. I got it in the description. I got it from Amazon. These are the GPUs. I mounted them vertically, so I have two rigs over here. One that I called the AMD rig. This is the bottom one, and this is my Nvidia rig. I have a total of, on the AMD side, in my previous video you guys have seen that I started with 4 GPUs, but since then I've added 2 additional ones. I've got 4 RX 580s over here, and then actually 5 RX 580s, sorry, 4 RX 580s, 1 590 and 1 480. So the way I put things together on this side, I used a plank of wood that I cut to size to mount my motherboard on it, and I placed the PSU right next to it. And any of the shorter kind of GPUs, they sit on this side, on the side of the motherboard, so that they don't kind of bother the motherboard. And any of the longer ones, such as the RX 480 over here, are on the right side, away from the motherboard or the PSU. Now, going up to my terribly managed Nvidia rig. Ignore the cable management because I put this together very quickly a couple of days ago, and I didn't have the time to cable manage this thing. And I'm also waiting for other PSUs to kind of put together on this one. Over here I have 7 GPUs, 3060 Ti, 4 1660 Supers. I have a 1070 Ti over here and a 3080. So since my last video, I managed to get a couple of additional GPUs locally and from Newegg, and then put them on my on this rig. Again, plank of wood, motherboard, all the risers and everything are kind of mounted on the GPUs as per like the usual practice. Now the way I use zip ties to put them on the wire rack, and I'm gonna get a little bit close over here so that you can see how I did it. So I use a loop on this bottom side of the GPU kind of holder, and then I use another loop over here through the hole of the GPU mount that goes around this loop and keeps everything in place. This way I can actually move it right, left, it's kind of like a little bit mobile, and it doesn't it's quite stiff. Like if I try to move it around, it won't move. It'll only move right, left, if I need to kind of reposition things. I don't usually like when a GPU just like dangles from a wire rack. I've seen examples of kind of people doing that. I used wire racks from Amazon. These are 14 inches in depth by 24 inches in width, and the height is 54 inches. But I have to say, I do think things are a little bit crowded. I don't like how messy it is. It's been a little bit difficult to work with. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to get one bigger, or one unit of a wire rack that is 54 inches in height, 36 inches in width, and 14 inches in depth. This way I will have a little bit of room on the right and left, and maybe I can kind of move it around and walk inside so that I can access it from the back. This was a headache to set up. Now, you might have a little bit of different experience. This is my first time I do it. Do I recommend it if in the summer? Yeah, of course. The main goal of this so that I can manage, the heat. At one point, my basement was getting up to, 33, 34 degrees Celsius, and since then it's significantly dropped in the basement. Right now, my inline fan is not on, so we'll talk a little bit about that, but the temperatures right now are 30 degrees. I would say outside is probably about, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 degrees Celsius. 30 degrees, it's actually fairly good over here. I've seen it drop to 26, 27 degrees, which is actually fairly decent for the GPUs. Let's talk about the ducting and the whole setup with how I'm bringing in air from the outside and extracting air to the outside as well. I'm using my AC Infinity inline fan. This is a 6-inch one. I bought it off of Amazon. I also used zip ties to hold it onto the frame. This is the controller that turns it on and off. We'll do that in a sec. This is a 6-inch duct that goes out and goes this way and out of my basement window over there. I went to Home Depot and got like an exhaust kind of gate, similar to your dryer exhaust that you put on the side of the house. And I used ducting tape and clamps to keep everything tight and kind of secured. I made sure to rest any points of sagging on the tent itself so that this doesn't stress basically the joints on the inline fan or on the exhaust side. And then this kind of worked out for me because this is resting on this piece of metal over here. So when this is working, it's actually fairly loud, I want to say, but we'll test it in a bit and I'll show you guys how loud it is. On the intake side, I've got 2 intakes, 4-inch. Because my exhaust is 6-inch and I'm relying on the negative pressure on the inside the tent that the inline fan creates, I decided to go with 2 4-inch intakes. So they travel this way. One of them goes to the right side of the tent right there, and then the other comes in from the left side right here. Okay, and they travel all the way down, right? Because we want the cold air to go all the way down. Comes in cold, it heats up, heat rises, and then it gets extracted by this fan. So that's the kind of like idea. One on the right side for any future rigs on this side of the tent, right here, and then this one on the left side. I did consider one additional improvement to this setup is basically making these a little bit higher and adding maybe like a box fan under this setup so that air is actively pushed upward. But then I realized that there's a lot of things kind of going on and it would block the air, and I don't know if it's going to be that useful, so I kind of shied away from the idea. I could eventually, because I do have space right here, put maybe a box fan right here and a box fan right here that kind of pushes air inward and then the air rises. So it would take cold air from here and then would push it into the GPUs and get extracted by the inline fan right there. So that's kind of the setup. I used this switch. I got an Ethernet switch to bring in internet and all of that. From a cabling perspective, I used very heavy duty. I think this is 13 gauge, I want to say, wire from Amazon that I got. They're extremely good. They don't get hot. They're properly rated for this sort of application. I connect one rig per line, so I've got one over there and then one over here, and I'm also very mindful of the capacity that I have on my circuits and on my breakers. Right now the inline fan is not working My temperature inside is 30 degrees. I've actually managed to bring this down to, I want to say 27 degrees or 28 degrees when the air outside, when the temperature outside is roughly in, in the 20s as well. So we'll see what happens in the summer. But this solution has helped my situation significantly. My basement was getting extremely hot, and then since then temperatures have been way more manageable and way more tolerable inside my basement. So finally, what I want to do is turn this on, and I want to show you how loud it is and how it kind of like functions. Typically I turn it on all the way to like maybe 75%. And you might hear it. I don't know if this is going to be loud enough. It's actually very good suction. So I go all the way. Yeah, it's very good. And then I zip the tent, I close it. Here. And there you go. This is the grow tent setup. Right there. I can feel the hot air coming out. It like gets hot right away. And then yeah, cold air is coming in. This is extremely cold because the temperatures have dropped a little bit outside. So I can feel how cold this is. I'm very, very happy with, this is quite warm. Very happy with this setup and how it turned out. For anybody who's thinking of, hey, how am I gonna manage the summer heat? I highly, highly recommend this. Let me just open this up again. There we go. I highly recommend this. This has been a lifesaver. One area of improvement that, let me actually turn this off. Okay. One area of improvement that I'm gonna change, or I'm gonna like work on in this setup is, I've noticed that this is a little bit messy. I've tried my best to kind of orient things and organize things in a way that it's not. I know I have to do a lot of cable management, but this is just messy. I originally thought, oh, I'm gonna put as many rigs as possible over here. I'm gonna do one here and one here and one at the top. There's some missing wire racks over here that I need to add. But then I was like, this is a lot of cables to kind of put in one place, and managing it and moving things around is actually quite difficult. So instead of actually having two of these wire racks set up, right, one here and one here, I'm just gonna have one bigger one that spans almost 75% of the width of this tent, and then goes all the way to the top. And then this way I have a little bit of like more maneuverability, and I'll just have less cables to worry about, and not less cables, but like more space to work with, which will look better and actually perform better. I hate this. Like this is terrible. Do not use this as an example of any cable management that you're going to do on your end, because this is bad. This is okay, not a whole lot of, and I had like proper splitters and things like that, so this is acceptable. This is terrible. I'm waiting for additional PSUs to kind of come in, and I'm also waiting for splitters and some PCIe cables to make this work. But yeah, this is the grow tent setup. Cool thing is that you have all sorts of like intake. I have this one open over here. I have one open over there, like a mesh. This is a 6-inch opening. This is an 8-inch opening. And then you've got two 4-inch openings, and then I think that's a 3-inch opening. So there's like different options that you can pick from. There's a little pocket over there you can put manuals, and there's also like an opening in the back as well. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna finish the video over here. My next video is also gonna be like a build. I managed to get one more 3060 and a 1660 Super So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is answer a question that I personally don't know the answer to, but you guys have asked it several times. Can we put a 3060 with a non-3060 GPU on the same motherboard? Would it work? And what sort of hash rate are we gonna get? So I have everything that I need for that setup. I was waiting for the PSU as well, so that will be my next video in a couple of days. Take care. Thank you for watching my videos. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. It helps a lot. You know, I know you guys are asking me questions, and I love kind of answering them and knowing what people are looking for. So it helps me. It also helps me from, like, you know, knowing what the next video is going to be about. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Have a good day. Take care of each other, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.